Minister of Finance Joe Ceci held a press conference to update on Alberta fiscals, and I did a story on the missing corporate tax revenue and more losses that had been projected. The total corporate losses came to $900 million, and the minister suggested that the Fort McMurray wildfires accounted for the majority of the deficit during his update. To me, that didn't add up. So I went and talked to Paige McPherson from the Canadian Taxpayers Federation about how this could be explained here.
The government is using another excuse to account for their deficit. No question, the Fort McMurray wildfires did have an impact on the budget. I mean, there is that $500 million dent that accounted for some of our deficit growth. However, that's not the primary cause for the deficit growth. The major factor in why our deficit got ballooned to be even bigger was corporate tax revenues, which are down by $877 million. So, it's really just an excuse that the government is using. Their policies are having an impact, and the negative economic climate in Alberta as a whole, which of course the NDP government's policies really do play into, are having a bigger impact on the deficit than the wildfires were having on the deficit.
My colleague Sheila Gunn-Reid also did a story detailing the debt servicing costs. Right now, those costs add up to $1 billion, and that money could definitely be spent on necessities. I asked Paige how the government could cut their spending here.
I think that when it comes to government spending in Alberta, the government has really indicated to taxpayers that they are not going to stop spending increases, really no matter how low their revenues are going, no matter how bad of an economic situation the province is in. The wildfires accounted for about $500 million in new spending, but even without those wildfires, the government is spending $700 million more in this recent fiscal update. That's what we learned. So there's really absolutely no fiscal restraint on behalf of this government at all. They're not getting it under control. We are going to be blowing $1 billion a year on just paying the interest down on our debt. Meanwhile, we're racking up that debt that we're then going to shove onto the backs of future generations. What could they do to reduce spending? Alberta's spending is amongst the highest per capita in Canada. When it comes to compensation for government employees, we top the list. And our health spending is another area where we do have the highest per capita health spending in Canada. Now, we shouldn't be slashing and burning public services. Nobody's calling for that. What we're saying is get it under control now, because no matter how, if you let it snowball and snowball and snowball, then you're going to come to a point where you do have to make dramatic cuts. We don't want to see those dramatic cuts. They need to trim spending now, get salaries down to the national average level, and then see where that gets us. And then, if we need to go line by line in every department and to trim spending, then that's what the government should be directing. But we're seeing the exact opposite of that right now in terms of policy direction.
Overall, the loss in corporate taxes just goes to show that increasing taxes doesn't necessarily mean more government revenue. And the only way to get back on track and get rid of the province's deficit is to reduce the NDP's out-of-control spending. It's pretty clear that this won't happen anytime soon. During his update, Joe Ceci refused to answer questions about spending ceilings, indicating that the sky is the limit for the NDP. For the Rebel.media, I'm Holly Nicholas.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.